Good afternoon, everybody. Let's just hop right into this one here. We've taken a look at our 500 millibar chart. We have a very large, broad trough that is pretty much sitting over the entire continental United States here. Now, there's a few couple little pockets to notice. There's this center of low pressure that's kind of right on the tip of Minnesota there, and there's another little shortwave bump in southern Nebraska here. And pay close attention to that one near Nebraska, as it's really subtle and hard to see at the 500 millibar chart today, but it kind of moves off towards the Iowa, Missouri, Illinois area, and could eventually provide, and it starts to become more clear here as we head into the overnight hours, and this could certainly provide some lift for us this evening and into the overnight hours. However, if we head down to the 700 millibar level, things become a lot more clear. We still see that original low pressure center off to our northwest, but the second one down by the Kansas-Nebraska area is a lot more clear. And as we head through the afternoon today, this thing is going to be providing a fair amount of lift for Illinois, Indiana, parts of Kentucky, especially with this jet here, and they're kind of in the left exit region of that jet. And there's also a fair bit of defluence. Typically, you want to be looking at that at a higher level, and you still see that to some extent at the 500 millibar level too. If you look at northwestern Illinois, winds are more very southwesterly, whereas you go south Illinois, they're almost due westerly. Not quite, but getting there. So there's a little bit of a kind of the winds are kind of diverging or spreading out, and that can also lead to some rising motion. All that to say that there's likely to be storms down in Illinois, Indiana today, and some of that rain is likely going to make its way up into our area as well. Now, one thing to note, and we will dive into this a little bit deeper later, but there is a fairly substantial severe weather threat with the initial storms down in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and parts of Kentucky. Damaging winds, large hail, and even some tornadoes are all on the board. I don't think much of that severe threat will leak into Michigan. It's possible that we end up with a few severe reports just north of just on the Michigan side of the borders here, but I don't foresee us really having to deal with much severe weather. However, we could certainly still have some rumbles of thunder associated with that rain as it moves through our area. Then if we look at the 850 millibar level, not a whole lot of difference here. You can kind of see that these two low pressure centers closer to the surface are interacting with each other and kind of congeal into one as we head into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning, which is certainly interesting. Now, tomorrow, this low pressure center ends up being right on top of us, which is kind of funny. There will be some more precipitation on the back end of this, however, and if we head down to the surface, again, that low pressure system, very evident at the surface. There's going to be a cold front coming in behind this. So if we look at about now-ish, there's a warm front kind of extending down, or extending eastward across Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. There's also a cold front behind this thing. And so temperatures will drop off in our area as we head into the morning and through the day tomorrow. But once this low pressure system moves out, then we don't see anything obvious affecting our area tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. So here is the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. This lighter green that we are in here in Michigan is just a general thunderstorm risk. This darker green is a level 1 out of 5 severe marginal severe thunderstorm risk. The yellow is a level 2 out of 5 slight severe risk. And this orange area is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced severe thunderstorm risk. And we can actually break this down by individual hazard. So here we have the hail risk. That is definitely the most expansive risk for the day, in a pretty large 15% area. Wind, it's a little more confined. Excuse me. So some areas are a little more likely to see hail than wind, but Still a risk for some straight line winds, but it's really the tornado threat that is going to be the main problem today. Now, do take note that the tornado threat is not expected to reach into Michigan. It is expected to stay south of our area, though the highest tornado threat is in southeastern Illinois and southern Indiana. And it is possible, even I know it's February, but it is possible that we even see a significant tornado or two in that area. So it may be February, but tornadoes don't care. So if you know anyone who lives down there, have any family, friends, or if you're traveling down there, just keep in mind that severe thunderstorms are going to be possible today, this afternoon, and there is a threat for hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. Now, we talked about how there's plenty of forcing for storms in the earlier charts, but let's also take a look at some of the thermodynamics and some other things. So, we can see temperatures across the region of interest for our severe weather are largely in the mid 50s down towards the upper 60s. So, fairly warm, especially for this time of year. Oh, excuse me. Got some hiccups. We'll look at the same time. Moisture is really not that bad given it's February. 50s across most of the area of interest. And down where the temperatures were a bit warmer, we also have some dew points that are in the upper 50s, perhaps even getting close to 60. So while I wouldn't say the moisture quality is amazing, it's definitely sufficient and a little better than I would have expected for this time of year. Now, if we take a look at our convective available potential energy, which is basically fuel for storms, one thing that I know is already we're looking at some higher values than we were expecting yesterday. We do have some values around 1,000, which is certainly sufficient. And even when that fades away, we still have a pretty large area of values from 500 up to 1,000. So still some pretty sufficient fuel. Again, it's not a lot. It really isn't a lot, but it's sufficient. And that's really what matters here, especially since the wind shear is certainly going to be enough. If we take a look at our low-level winds here, again, we're at the 850 millibar level now. We can see that across the area of interest, they're mainly the winds are mainly from the south, mainly southerly, and wind speeds range from 35, 25, 25, 35 knots. And if we head up to the 500 millibar level in that same area, the winds are a lot more westerly and they're stronger, 70 knots there, 60 knots there. So we're going to have both directional and speed shear, which means that there's going to be plenty of wind shear to allow storms to rotate and become supercellular, which will allow them to produce larger hail or be more likely to produce hail, have damaging winds, and of course produce tornadoes. Another good measure for how much spin is available in the atmosphere is storm relative velocity. Here we're looking at 0 to 3 kilometers in the atmosphere. And again, across the target area, we're at 2 to 300 here. There's even a pocket of 400 in central Illinois there. And that continues into the evening. We have well over 200 storm relative velocity across much of the area with pockets of 3 to 400 mixed in there. And we can actually even go further down and look at the lowest level, 0 to 1 kilometer, which is going to be more important for, say, tornadoes in particular. We're still looking at storm relative velocity values around and perhaps and over 100 meters squared per second squared, which is more than enough. And again, as we head into the evening, we even see 200 storm relative velocity start to make its way into the area of interest. So there's going to be plenty of shear and plenty to allow storms to spin and rotate. Let's move on from that now and actually take a look at our highs and lows. So currently, it seems like temperatures are around 50 degrees, and they should warm maybe a little bit. We could get into the low, maybe close to the mid 50s if we're lucky, right around 50. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be right around 50 degrees today. And of course, even though it's not as warm as yesterday was really nice. I went out for, speaking of yesterday, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic again. Well, I mean, not really. We were just talking about severe weather. But those thunderstorms yesterday, I did not expect that. Um, the Storm Prediction Center clearly wasn't expecting those either, and neither was the National Weather Service. Neither had any thunderstorm chances outlined for yesterday, and that caught me a bit off guard. I was kind of surprised, but I think it might be owing to the fact that yesterday did get warmer than we expected. I think the official forecasts were for temperatures to be in the upper 50s, and at one point I saw that we had reached 63 degrees here. So that might have been the difference maker as to why we ended up with storms. And those storms blew up right as I got home from my walk. It was a very nice walk. It was beautiful outside, at least until those storms started to appear. But I really enjoyed hearing the thunder. It had been a long time. But we did see a few hail reports from those storms as they went across Michigan. Nothing larger than, an inch and a quarter, but still, to have some severe hail in Michigan in February is kind of impressive. Anyway, I digress. Temperatures. Not going to be as warm as yesterday, but it is going to be our last day of warm. This is the final day of fall spring, at least this fall spring. As that cold front comes through tomorrow morning, and our low temperatures tonight are still going to be relatively fair. They're going to be around 40, maybe the low 40s. So they're not going to be bad at all. But then, of course, that cold front comes through, and our high temperatures tomorrow are going to be realized probably around 9 a.m. at that, low to mid 40 temperatures. And they're just going to fall through the day. And by tomorrow evening, we'll be down into the mid to low 30s. And by tomorrow night, we'll start to cool off, and we will likely go below freezing by Saturday morning. Now let's take a look at precipitation. Now we do have some rain around the area at the moment, and that should continue for a while. We may get some breaks as we head into the evening, but as we head into the overnight, a lot more, we could see some more rain coming in. But as we head into tomorrow morning, still going to be some lingering rain, but it should be mostly over. And then tomorrow afternoon, there is a chance that we get a little bit of some snow showers on the back end of the system. We're not expecting any snow accumulation, but that just goes to show you that those temperatures are going to be heading down, and fall spring is waving goodbye. So definitely some chance for some snow showers tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. But as we head over into the overnight and into Saturday morning, the precipitation should start to chill out. See what I did there? Chill out. Okay, I'm sorry. Now we will take a look at wind. Just gonna take a quick little, okay. So right now, winds are not terrible. They're around the 10 to 15 mile an hour mark sustained, and they'll hang around there for the rest of the day. Calm a bit down in the evening, and hang around there through most of the overnight. But as we head into tomorrow morning, the later part of tomorrow morning, the winds will start to increase. And by tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at sustained winds, 20, maybe up to 25 miles per hour. Though they will start to calm down as we head into the evening, still 15 to 20 miles per hour though. And they will be a lot calmer as we head into Saturday morning, down to 10 miles per hour or so. But now let's take a look at our wind gusts. Right now, maximum wind gusts around 20 miles per hour, and that'll kind of hang around through the evening. Yeah. And through most of the overnight, though it might pick up a little bit, maybe pushing 25 miles per hour during parts of the overnight. And then as we head into tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, we could see some wind gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour. But again, as we head into the overnight tomorrow night and into Saturday morning, those will start to calm down, and by 7 a.m. on Saturday, the maximum wind gust should be down to 20 to 25 miles per hour. And last but not least, we're going to get into cloud cover. It probably won't come as a surprise given that we've been talking about precipitation, but most of the forecast period is going to be cloudy. We might see some brief small breaks in the clouds over the next couple of hours. Excuse me. Excuse me. But, while that rain's coming through, it's going to be cloudy. Should be cloudy through most of the overnight, though at some points in the early morning, again, there could be a few small splotches of clearing. And maybe we get a little bit of clearing early tomorrow or mid-morning tomorrow before that next wave of cloud moves in, and then from there, cloudy most of tomorrow, or for the rest of tomorrow morning and through all of tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. And it looks like those clouds hang around through the night tomorrow, but may start to wane just a little bit as we head into Saturday morning. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.